All right, guys, so we have the final meaningful AP poll before the actual brackets are announced next Sunday. Let's look through it and see what the AP voters think. They still do have Houston at number one overall, with UCLA now moving up 2 spots after that big win against Arizona. This is mainly also due to the AP voters using win-loss record. That kind of is how it's gauged when it comes to these type of polls. So UCLA, they've only got 4 losses. They're ranked in front of Kansas, but, very likely, definitely, I would say Kansas is going to be in front of UCLA on Selection Sunday due to their conference, their schedule, their strength of schedule, and stuff like that. But Houston coming in at number 1. People are a little bit concerned with Houston right now. That win over Memphis, it was, Memphis is a good team. That's a tough place to win. I get it. But it does seem like Houston is slowing down at least a little bit. But they are a very complete team. Top 10 in terms of offensive and defensive efficiency. UCLA, again, beating Arizona. That was a heavyweight matchup. They were able to win it. Kansas at number 3, and Alabama down 2 spots after really struggling since the Brandon Miller situation at number 4. This SEC tournament is going to be big for them in terms of righting the ship and really calming some people's nerves when it comes to them in the actual tournament. I'm sure Alabama's a guaranteed 1 seed, Houston's a guaranteed 1 seed, Kansas is a guaranteed 1 seed, and then it's kind of coming down to Purdue or UCLA. I could see a few different scenarios like UCLA winning the Pac-12 and beating Arizona again, and Purdue possibly losing in the first round or whenever their first game is. I think they get like a double bye in the Big Ten. There are scenarios you could see where UCLA jumps Purdue, but right now Purdue beating Illinois yesterday, they're kind of the consensus final number 1 seed. They're coming in at number 5 on this graph. How about Marquette? Coming in at number 6, Texas up 2 spots. They've got a big win. They're at number 7. Arizona remains at 8, even after their loss. It was a good loss to UCLA. Gonzaga up to number 9. They're sitting on the 3 line in most brackets. And then Baylor down to number 10. UConn charging back up. They're up to number 11. They've had a great last few weeks. Kansas State trending down, possibly onto the 3 line. They were a 2 seed for a little bit, but they've struggled. It's tough in the Big 12. Virginia sitting at 13. I'm not a big believer in Virginia. Miami up to 14. Don't love Miami. Just don't love the ACC this year. Xavier up to number 15. St. Mary's at 16. Tennessee, they're an enigma. The analytics still love Tennessee, but they're down to 17. A&M up 6 spots after their big home win against Alabama at number 18. Indiana down significantly to number 19. They got crushed by Iowa, I believe, and then they beat Michigan, but it was kind of a lucky win. They were down by like 10 points late in the second half of that game at home. San Diego State down to number 20. They have some issues scoring. And then we've got a lot of newcomers here. So Duke in at number 21, TCU at 22, Kentucky at 23, and then you have Creighton at 24 with Missouri getting in at 25 there. So Duke, they've been able to pile up some wins in a down ACC. Kentucky's had a good second half. TCU's always been like a fringe top 25 team. Creighton, same thing. And then others receiving votes. It is a real shame that Oral Roberts is not ranked. It'd be cool to see them get ranked. FAU, they've been ranked a few times this year. Utah State, Providence. I'm shocked people are still voting for Providence. Iowa State, Northwestern, West Virginia, Toledo and their great offense. Pittsburgh, Charleston, MSU, VCU. They're currently the favorite in terms of getting an auto bid. They're the number 1 seed in their conference. Boise State, Iowa, USC, Vanderbilt, they've made the bubble. Maryland, Memphis, Arkansas. How about a shout out to North Texas? You know what? I think North Texas should be inside the top 20. And then Drake also, you got to give him a shout out there. Now when it comes to the actual rankings, you look at the resumes, you look at the metrics. Houston sitting at number 1. The column I would point people to is the resume average. You can see Houston averaging 3.5, Alabama at 1.5, Tennessee, who's third in terms of net, sitting at 15. That average is probably close on where the teams are actually going to be slotted on Selection Sunday. You can see Purdue at an average of 4, UConn probably looking at a 4 seed, Kansas, who's number 7 in terms of net, 1.5 average. They're tied with Alabama for the best in the nation in terms of their overall resume composite. And then take a look like St. Mary's at 22.5. They're looking at like a 5 seed in a 12 matchup. Gonzaga is a solid 3 seed. Texas is a solid 2 seed sitting 5.5. Arizona, their average is 10.5. They're sitting on the 2 line right now. Maybe a fringe 3 if they get upset in the Pac-12 championship. Baylor sitting possibly on the 2 line with Marquette trending towards a 2, but right now, according to the resume, they're probably entrenched as a 3. Creighton all the way down at 37.5 in terms of their resume because of the losses. How about FAU? They've ran up some wins, and the net loves them. San Diego State rounds out the top 16. They're probably looking at a 5 seed there. And then looking at all of the teams on the bubble, we've got a lot of teams. It's a smorgasbord here. Utah State maybe getting in. I hope Utah State makes it. You know, they've had such a good year. I know people are going to say they play in a bad conference compared to other teams when you're talking about the bubble, but I don't know, man. They've got a net of 21. West Virginia is very clearly and obviously in the tournament. Auburn is in. Memphis is in, probably as a 9 seed. They should be taken off of here. They're not on the bubble. Nevada, firmly entrenched onto the bubble as an 11 seed. North Texas, 39th in terms of net rating, but they've got some significant work to do. Rutgers currently on the 10 line. There's been talk with people saying Rutgers should be out of the tournament. I don't buy it. They've got a good defense. They're probably going to be in. I know people are going to be angry. All these Big Ten teams make it. NC State, 41 in terms of their net. They're an 11 seed right now. They've got work to do in the ACC tournament if they want to have a clear bye and not be involved with the first 4. Oklahoma State, they're on the outside looking in right now. USC is firmly entrenched to a 10 seed. Mississippi State on the bubble. Oregon, significant work to do. Next 4 out. North Carolina. North Carolina now is their chance to prove you've got a wide open ACC tournament. I talked about it earlier. They need to make a run, at least make it to the final, possibly win the ACC. Providence sitting on the 9 line. They've struggled recently, but they're still going to be in the tournament. Michigan, the back-to-back overtime losses. It's a killer. Penn State, they're in it. We'll see what happens with them. They just got a big win. Pittsburgh sitting on the 11 line. That's probably right. Clemson is out. Arizona State out. Oklahoma, they're appearing on this list randomly. I didn't think they had a chance, but maybe Oklahoma deserves a shout out after getting a big win. Wisconsin, can we just stop with Wisconsin? I mean, Wisconsin is 78th in terms of net. Are they really good? If you actually look at the ESPN BPI, it has Ohio State favorited over Wisconsin. Ohio State's 13-18. And they got like a 59% chance to beat Wisconsin. And then Vanderbilt had 83 in terms of the net. Yeah, Vandy's got some work to do. Let's just say Vanderbilt has some significant work to do. And then congratulations are in order for Drake University. I forgot about this in my previous video. Congratulations, Drake. They will be a 12 seed, and they will be the sexy 12 seed that everyone picks to upset a 5 seed. Personally, when it comes to, my opinion of Drake, I'll have to see who they get matched up with. But yes, the way they've been playing in the second half of the year, they're going to be very popular. They're probably going to get picked at like a 45% rate to upset whichever 5 seed it is. That's going to be a very popular pick, I'm sure. And then as well, I wanted to go over the MAC tournament because I forgot to do this one. So this is going to be a great tournament. I'm hoping and praying it's going to be Toledo versus Kent State because it's offense versus defense. And Listen, Toledo is very dangerous if they make it as a 14 seed into the field because they've got a really elite offense. They do have a horrible defense. I understand that. But you could get lucky. Maybe a team goes cold shooting. Toledo, with their offensive potency, they are a team that can definitely upset a 3 seed. Kent State, I'll say it would be very unlikely if they upset anyone. They just don't have the offensive firepower, but they do have a really good defense. Toledo and Kent State are literally polar opposites. Kent State, very good on defense, bad on offense. Toledo, the exact opposite. So just looking at this, I am expecting it to be Toledo versus Kent State, and I would love to see Toledo make the tournament because they're a very fun team in terms of potentially high-scoring games, possibly upsetting a higher seed in that one. But guys, that is going to do it for this video, this update on the AP poll. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.